In this video, I'm going to be talking about which NFT platforms made it in the space and are still active, which ones have failed and are inactive, and which ones were absolutely horrendous to their own community. So make sure you watch to the end of this video to find out whom. Hey everyone, this is Barry from Music Tech Info. Hope you're doing well today. It's 2025. Happy New Year to you guys. So I wanted to report on all of the platforms that I've featured previously, what's happened to them, what's the latest, and it was a suggestion from someone in the comments, so thank you so much for that, and it has inspired me to want to do this video, so thank you. And it's great to receive comments about things, so really appreciate it. So the first is OpenSea.io, and OpenSea is still much alive, today, which is brilliant. They have a ton of different chains that they've onboarded. We've got Arbitrum, Avalanche, B3, Base, Blast, Ethereum, Clayton, Optimism. We've also got Polygon, Psy, and Zora. So that's a huge amount of different chains that is now accessible via OpenSea. So I think that's really great news. And what else is great is the category of music. Now, I used to get really infuriated by this because OpenSea kept taking it down. They kept hiding the category of music. Sometimes you were unable to mint via the category of music because they took down the category every so often whenever they felt like it. However, it has remained an official category for quite some time now. And you can see the top collections that are currently going on in the category of music, which is great to see. You've got Music Spotlight, which is like a featured section. You've got details about what are music NFTs, how to buy one, how to mint. So yeah, OpenSea is still a great platform and I really rate it. We also have Foundation.app. Now Foundation was a really kind of official NFT marketplace for things like art, and I had some success with Foundation back in the day. Most expensive, I think it was 0.1 ETH my music piece sold for, which was really great, as a musician myself, known as Cyber Monday. So, they're still getting decent money for their art, certainly maybe not as much as a couple of years ago, but it all looks very credible to me in terms of decent art that people can purchase and invest in. I don't think much has gone on in terms of functionality. They've got exhibitions, galleries, drops, editions, and NFTs. So a few more features, whereas before they had less options. But you can see that there's more filters now, which is great to see. You can see, you can sort by the lowest. So you can find out the cheapest reserve price. And the functionality of Foundation.app was really interesting because it was like an auction site as well. So make sure you check out my last Foundation.app video on this channel if you're interested in that. Now, apologies if my voice isn't great, I do have a cold. Next one is Rocky.com. Now, this was on the Binance, the BSC blockchain, and it was a dedicated music NFT platform, and they certainly had lots of features. I recognise this. They had the Rocky token, they had the fact that you can burn, you can stake, you can buy NFTs, you can mint, and it was a really good platform. Now that Rocky company has actually now been acquired by Curious, and they've got their actual domain here. So if I click on that, that'll take us to curious.com/Rocky. And this is basically talking about the roadmap for Rocky itself. Now their roadmap kind of stopped in June 2024. So it looks as though it may have stagnated, but at least it was acquired as such. But yeah, it certainly seems to be the case that things are fairly quiet on that. But at least the platform is still running as far as I'm aware. I also featured Opulus.org, which was all about tokenization between the artist and the fan. They had their own MFTs. And let's have a quick look. I think the front screen has definitely changed. Music fungible tokens. Yeah, they called them MFTs, that's why. So let's have a quick look at that. We've got a featured section. But yeah, I thought as much. There's not much stuff going on. We've got 12 artists here. You've got the token Opal, you can become an ambassador. If I have a look at the X space, It's got 92,000 followers. It started in January 2021. And they're talking about new functionality such as Opus Genesis, which Opulus AI will be more than just a royalty prediction model. Agents are coming. So it looks as though they're going to have AI features going onto their platform. Very much a community that's still going on, which is great, but they are very handpicked in terms of the artists that they choose. Another one bites the dust is NFT FM, which was full-length music NFTs, which is quite rare, or it was back in the day, that supports artists via the means of private donations, and doesn't seem to be anymore, unfortunately. Quite an interesting one was known as XNFT by a company called XLR8R, Accelerator. Yeah, that's it, Accelerator. And they did things like subscriptions to get like sample packs, mix downloads. They're still active, which is good to see. They've got quite a lot of information to check out on their website. If I have a look at the news on here, they've actually closed their subscription service, which is a bit unfortunate. And this is the thing, right? If they don't have funding, these NFT companies, then they cease to exist, right? And it certainly seems to be the case with quite a few of these that I've recorded on over the last 3 years. And 3 years is a long time in the Web3 space. Now, one platform that I was desperate to get on as a musician is known as Catalog.works, where they feature one-of-one NFTs, a bit like digital vinyl records. And they've definitely changed the look and feel of their website. You can request access as an artist. I never had that joy, unfortunately. Let's just have a quick look at their X space now. They've got 23,000 followers. Back in July, they announced a brand new catalogue, which was a music space for musicians. And they are still active. They're talking about particular artists that are on the platform, which is great. Collaborations that's been going on. So yeah, that's still going, which is good to see. Some of these NFT platforms, sometimes catered for musicians, are not that memorable, and this is certainly one of them, called Twinsea. This was joined in December 2020, got 11,000 followers, but if you go to their website, it doesn't seem to be any more, unfortunately. Let me just double check the app. Yeah, that's definitely down, which is unfortunate. Not much said on their X, which, I don't know, infuriates me when I see things like that. I'm not very happy with that. Communities need to know what's going on with platforms. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, that one. Now, a great platform that I used to actually utilise was Peerity. You did have a barrier of entry. You did need to apply as an artist or as a label. And my label was able to get permission to mint on the platform, which was great. The team were brilliant, but things have certainly got quite quiet. I mean, the last time somebody released a song on here was in April 2024. So even though the market seems to be active, it's certainly quiet. So I don't know what's happened there, but it's nice to see that it's still here, which is great. Peerity still looks the same in my mind, which is great. So let's hope that one keeps going. Now, interestingly, Zora.co was a really good website, and they've actually moved to Zora app. And the app is actually really good. It's like a social media platform similar to, say, Instagram. But the great thing about this is that every kind of post is its own NFT. And you're able to actually collect that NFT. And you can see how many people have collected in terms of minting. So you're able to buy some of the token, and then you're able to utilize that token to actually purchase NFTs. And it's really easy to be an artist and to post as an artist on there. So yeah, I encourage you to download Zora on the App Store or the Google Play Store. It's really good. Audius.co is a kind of Web3 streaming platform, and they are still going. They've looks a lot cleaner in terms of their platform, and they're still very active on the community, which is great to see. I've got my stuff on here known as Cyber Monday, and yeah, it does what it says on the tin. It's a good streaming platform. You can become a member, you can purchase a token. So yeah, nice to see that that's still going. Now, oneof.com, they featured not just music, but sports, lifestyle, TV and films. They did various drops and their own marketplace. That still seems to be very active, which is great to see. And let's just have a look at their marketplace now. Sort by newest. Let's have a look on here. Floor price $156. 24 listings. They're not for sale, but they are. So yeah, it seems to be fairly good. They've got a good amount of collections on here, which is great. Does it say the date when that was minted? No, I don't think it does. Seems to be pretty active, but I do want to quickly check out their X. Let's have a quick look. Oh, they've got the old little Twitter thing. That's pretty cool. That's not the right one. So let me just see if I can search on it. One of, unless things have changed somehow, which is possible. Let's have a look at their Instagram feed. You know, they've got 49.7 thousand followers on their Instagram, which is incredible. But you do find this in the space. Things are fairly quiet. Everything's kind of moved to AI now, which is, it is what it is. Our Song is another one that bites the dust, unfortunately. So on their main website, until next time, Our Song will suspend services from November. So quite recent in terms of that. At least they've announced it, which is more than what some platforms don't do properly, due to the termination of the payment processing services provided by Circle, which the platform was dependable on. They'll be transforming their business model and suspending services temporarily. So let's hope that they come back. Talks about, you know, frequently asked questions in terms of what to do with the finance, with the OSD balance, with the NFTs, etc. So you can check that out, or you can contact support if you need to. Vault.fm is one of the more recent platforms for musicians where you do have a barrier of entry, you do have to apply. I've never been fortunate with that. We're just a few select artists, which is just one of those things to deal with, I guess. It's one of the frustrating parts of being a musician, I'm afraid, particularly in the Web3 space, which is why things like OpenSea, you know, could be so great, because they don't have that barrier of entry. But they are still going, and I think they've got some great stuff. They had James Blake on there. They hit the news headlines saying, you know, this is a simplistic app, but it's great connecting fans to the artists, and the artists can post and give them drops and things. So yeah, good to see that that's still going. So next we're going to take a look at Emanate. Now, Emanate was quite a good platform, really. I think it was from an Australian team. They were going to launch version 2. So let me see. Yeah, version 2 is arriving this week. Now, when was that? That was probably 2022. But if we go onto their official website, you can see, unfortunately, it's gone. You know, 403 forbidden. Just another one bites the dust. Next is one that a lot of artists loved, which was Mint Songs. They had a great team. It was a fantastic marketplace. Help build a community in Web3. You could sell or give away your creative assets as NFTs. It was acquired back in February 2023 by Napster, which was quite exciting. But then it just became no more. So if I go onto their X, 14,000 followers, and they wound it down in 2022. Yeah, they stopped releasing on Polygon and Ethereum, and they winded down the platform, which was really unfortunate because a lot of people really enjoyed that platform. And just to make sure, if I go to mintsongs.com, it can't be reached. It has gone. And another one that has gone is Record Shop. Record Shop had quite a strict barrier of entry. I tried again as an artist to get onto this platform, didn't have any joy. And, you know, they have definitely gone. So their Record Shop X account has vanished. If I have a quick look at Record Shop Marketplace, you can see recordshop.com, which it was, and you can see last said 2021 on their homepage. They had various official drops. They were quite successful in terms of, you know, the marketplace and what artists were actually getting was really kind of positive. As you can see, it is no more. That's one of the things that I'm really glad I've done, is start this channel over 3 years ago, featuring all of these platforms, because it looks as though nearly half have gone, which I wasn't actually aware of. I was aware of quite a few, but unless you're really actively checking things out, You're not going to know which ones have survived and which ones haven't. It can be a kick in the teeth in some ways, but in other ways, if you didn't manage to get on their platform because of their barrier of entry and they're now down, no, I don't mean that really. You know, it's unfortunate in Web3. It knocks the confidence in the Web3 market, and that's not a good thing. Okay, we still have some success. We've got Royal.io, and I knew without even checking that this would still be up, which is great. You can see they've got a really clean, nice front-end website here, talking about their own protocol, immutable solution that verifies your provenance, where you can create your own ID, you sign up for an ID, you're able to then register a track. Just have a quick look at the next page because I've never seen this one before. You can then create content. They're partnering with AI content generators like Suno for their beta launch, which I feature on this channel a lot. I went from NFT platforms in Web3 to AI to then other things as well. And it's nice to do a full circle and to go back to NFTs again in the foreseeable future, which is great. You can register your provenance, which is your unique content, register it on chain and link it to your ID forever. So yeah, I think this has a lot of good solutions for artists, which is brilliant. They've also got these new features called Sonic and Suno, which Suno is the AI music generator. So yeah, lots of things on here. If we check their X, they've done giveaways. They can say make music, win 1 ETH. So they've got good funding with that. They're supporting artists, so that's great. And as I said before, 3 years is a long time. I think Royal may have been 2 years, 2 and a bit years. But yeah, it's great to see that this is still going. Oh, there you go, 2021. Yeah, 3 years. Wow, that's impressive. Well, 2.5, yeah. So good to see that that's still going on. Another one that I featured on this channel was Solsea.io for Solana, and it's still going strong. Very good competitor to OpenSea actually, but obviously on a different blockchain. And I really like the look of this platform, and I feel like I've neglected it. There's a lot of good functionality on here, sort options, filter searches, verified listings, collectibles. And it's not just dedicated to music, it's dedicated to CGI, gaming, utility, art, photography, collectibles, comics, education, domain. If we have a quick look at the sound section, and I sort by highest bids, you can see we've still got some great projects on here. So Solsea is still a great option for musicians. Next is mintable.com, and this seems to still be going. It's called about remint your NFTs. We're putting power back into the community with ERC721X, which is a protocol that combines NFTs with bonding curves, DAO, and community coins. So lots of interesting functionality with that, where you can remint and launch your community coin. You can claim and burn any NFTs for community coins. You can vote. So yeah, lots of good functionality on mintable.com. Here we go. So this is Mintable Marketplace. And I mean, if there was a cheap price to kind of get music out there, this certainly seems to be the platform, which is great to see. You can see that it's not just focused around music. They've got Bored Ape Yacht Club here. But yeah, it's one, again, that I'm glad to see is still going. And next is going to be a bit of a quick fire round because there's still quite a few platforms that I need to cover. So there's Releap.xyz, that seems to be no more. Anotherblock.com still seems to be going. Since 2021, they've facilitated the sales of some of the biggest songs in the world. They've got the partnerships there. So that still seems to be going, but certainly it's not a marketplace. MusicOS.xyz seems to be down. It kind of was an alpha and it seems to be no more. Then there's Boombox.market, seems to be really quiet in the space. And I can't seem to get much going on with their website. It's trying to take me to a Telegram, I think. So that's not great. Now this one I could never pronounce properly, Messiah.stream. Let's have a quick look at this one. Seems to be a really clean page, seems quite modern. Okay, that's good. I think it was a streaming service from what I remember. That still seems to be going, which is great. Nice to see genres. Let's have a quick look on their X. Okay, they've still wished everyone a happy Lunar New Year, so that's positive. So they are still active in the community, even though things have been fairly quiet. At least the platform's still up, which is great. Oolala.xyz has definitely gone. FutureTape.xyz is still going, which is great. This was quite an interesting one. I actually like the player on this. I downloaded the app as well, so that's an interesting one to check out. But what it was like a combination of different music on different blockchains, kind of importing it all from, say, platforms such as Nina, from Zora, etc. Talking about Nina, there's ninaprotocol.com. This was a really interesting one. You were able to mint for really cheap. They had a mobile app as well. I liked how clean their platform was. The functionality seemed really good. But yeah, Nina Protocol is definitely still here. Let me just check their Twitter feed. Nearly 10,000 followers. That's good. They are posting and still posting, so that's good to see in Web3. The market became a bit saturated as an artist, if I have to be completely honest. I was dropping stuff, and to begin with, it was really popular. Things certainly went a lot quieter though as the time went on. If I have a quick look at my artist dashboard, you can see examples of that. I had sold out NFTs, and all of a sudden I wasn't getting a single buyer since like August 2023. And I think the reason for that was really because there was a huge barrier of entry to begin with, which was frustrating for years. You finally get out there. I was one of the first artists to be able to get onto the platform after the barrier of entry had gone. And then obviously everybody joins the bandwagon, and then the market just gets saturated. But Sound is still a fantastic platform for minting NFTs. It's a brilliant website as well, so check it out. Now, do you remember LimeWire? Now, LimeWire came back last year, and they said that they were going to incorporate AI tools as well. They still say that their apps are coming soon. Their products, they've got LimeWire, they've got their own token, they've got their AI part as well. So if I have a look at limewire.com, oh, it's the same thing. There we go. Interesting. Let me have a look at Lime. There we go. So they are still reporting. I'm going to follow them actually because I'm quite interested in this platform. I've just mentioned something about, there you go. What did you do when the first Bitcoin was mined in 2009? So they are still active. They've got their file sharing, which is interesting, via the BNB chain. So yeah, quite a lot of interesting stuff going on there with LimeWire, so check it out. There's one called blockparty.co that still seems to be going. They talk about their own node that they've got, their ecosystem of products for NFT creators, developers, and enterprise brands. The tokens, the metadata, optimizations, APIs, custom mint pages for artists, collectives, and curators that you can inquire in your own secondary market as well. So Block Party still seems to be going with 20,000+ followers on X, which is great, and still a fairly active community, which is good. However, there is some complaints about speed and scalability, so you might want to check that out if you're interested. One that isn't still going, which I want to touch on, and for followers, you're going to know what I'm going to say if you've followed this channel a while. NFT Art Finance. Now, if we have a look at the market cap of this particular token, if we have a look at the last year, it's been a constant fight to try and get this token to go up. It started way too high, dropped by half, and then picked up some momentum as platforms grew, and then since then it's stagnated. Now, I have a huge problem with this platform. Huge problem. It's down, as we can see. If I have a look at Discord, and I have a look at the Discord channel, which I should still have. Where is it? Enter, they're also known as. They've taken down the access without telling anybody. So this has infuriated me, guys. And the reason why it's infuriated me was because I was an ambassador of this project. I was never paid, but I was an ambassador of this project. And the team were great. They were absolutely amazing. I was very passionate about this project. They had so many great platforms. They had Enter.art, which they started with. And Enter.art, you could feature your art NFTs on there. They had Enter.audio, dedicated to musicians. They had enter.blog to keep people updated with various news in their project. They had enter.market for collectibles, which is great. As you can see, all of this is down. It was all taken down without warning. It was taken down without notification to their community, who had supported this project all the way through. I put out a video and then all of a sudden their Discord server was taken down in terms of the roles. This started in 2021. It was a great platform. People are now really upset in the community saying we don't have access to our NFTs. They're somewhere on the blockchain, but we can't access them. A lot of people have lost a lot of money if they've invested in the token, which I completely appreciate and sympathise with as well. But yeah, that image kind of says it all, really, doesn't it? Not great, not great at all. And the learnings that I take from this, look how many platforms have gone down. Around half of the platforms that I've featured on this channel over 3 years have now gone down. What happens to the investment of time you as a musician have put into it? What happens to your NFTs? What happens to any balances that you had on that network? How do you access your stuff, your data, when that platform goes down? And it's the same in Web 2. The same with all of the social media platforms. The same with even Spotify is a social media platform. It's really something to bear in mind as a musician, and it's definitely a takeaway from me from this video, is just protect your art. A lot of people had minted on enter.art and they didn't keep a backup of it. So they've lost their work. Now, there's various tools that you can go on. So you can go on Wayback Machine. There we go, it's wayback.archive.org. So what I can do is I can go on to enter.audio. Oh, I'll do enter.art because that's the most popular one. You can then see when it was active. So I'm going to say 2022 just as an example. These are all of the timestamps. So I'm going to click on this one. Random, okay? And what it'll try and do, it'll try and retrieve that website back in that moment of time. And there we go. We've got the website as it was back then. And you can see that you do have some data here that you can hopefully retrieve if you are the artist of one of the artists of this platform, okay? So it is something to bear in mind. Don't give up trying. If you've lost work, try this tool. There's debate whether this is going to last as well because it's part of Internet Archive and they're currently being sued by record labels, which is just shocking in my mind because it is so valuable to people. But that's another story. But as you can see, I can go on to artists here. They had a launch pad for musicians that haven't yet gone through the barrier of entry but wanted to be featured. So that's something. But you can see some of the data is lost, okay? So it's something to bear in mind. You may not get everything that you're after. However, it's a good starting point. And what you had on the drop-down box here was that you could access all of the different platforms from NFT Art Finance. But one thing that I do want to try and have a quick look at is NFT Art Finance on here. NFT Art Finance. Look at this. 101.7 thousand followers, okay? Joined in 2009 and no mention at all. Nothing. No mention. So, yeah, that is a takeaway for me. It's unfair to communities to do that to people. Very unfair. So anyway, sorry to end it on a bit of a low note, but it's good to see that there are still platforms going in Web3. If you're aware of any new platforms that I haven't featured in this video, please let me know. There were a ton out there, wasn't there? You know, I tried my best to feature as many as I could, tailored for musicians. Some were dedicated to music NFTs, others weren't. But I tried my best to do that, and hopefully you found this video valuable. Let me know what you think in the comments about Web3 music. I'm still a believer in music NFTs. Check out my video on that a couple of videos ago regarding the fact I do still believe in music NFTs. I'm also now into NFTs on Bitcoin, which are known as ordinals. So there may be more about that on this channel. So if you're interested in the Web3 space for musicians, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Take care. Bye.